Guys, Jiraiya is back. This is not a drill. Jiraiya is back, baby. Boruto has done the impossible, the controversial, the brave, by bringing back one of the most famous sensei of all time in anime. Except they haven't. Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video after the absolute bombshell that was Boruto chapter 47. We finally learnt the secret of Kashin Koji. We all suspected that he was in some way, shape or form linked to Jiraiya, whether it be offspring, clone, or heaven forbid, Jiraiya himself. I mean, the signs have been there since the beginning. Visually, he looks somewhat similar. He has his face covered, instantly making it obvious that he has an identity that needs to be hidden from the reader. His move arsenal of toad summons, Rasengans, toad oil, fire, pretty much everything Jiraiya could do, Kashin Koji can too. Koji had previously declared how his fate had always been linked to Konoha, and he was even able to infiltrate the village undetected as he'd already been registered as a Leaf Village resident at some point in the past, showcasing that he knew who his originator was. Well, now we do too. Kashin Koji is in fact a clone created from Jiraiya's genes. And, well, it's safe to say that not everyone has taken to this twist too well. Many people have decided that this was enough to completely drop the series entirely, claimed that it's completely ruined the legacy that Jiraiya left behind, and that it has even ruined all of Naruto's pain arc and more. So I thought that this was something we had to cover on the channel. Today I wanted to properly explain exactly what Kashin Koji is, and why I think having a clone of Jiraiya is not a massive issue, and why it does not affect Jiraiya's legacy at all. Like I already mentioned, it's not like this plot twist was a massive shock to everyone. People have been speculating it for years, ever since the character's introduction. He's been one of the most built up characters in the series to date, with a plethora of valuable page time foreshadowing his origins. And also, straight off the bat, Kashin Koji is not the only clone we've seen in Boruto. We all know Mitsuki is a synthetic clone of Orochimaru. In the anime, we had an entire arc that explored synthetic beings and cloning, which gave us Lord Ku, a clone of Inoki. One important thing to note from all this is that none of these clones showcased any form of personality traits or memories of their originators. Mitsuki can use snakes, doesn't really have the urge to destroy the Leaf Village or learn every jutsu like his father. Lord Ku could use particle style, but again, didn't have the memories or personality of Inoki. So, why would Kashin Koji be any different? We've seen that yes, he can use similar attacks, but he clearly doesn't have the memories or personalities of Jiraiya. Otherwise, he would be thirsting over Delta every chance he gets and would likely know a lot more about Naruto and everyone else in the Leaf Village. So really, the only part of Jiraiya we've got is someone who looks a bit like him and has similar abilities. That's it. That alone does not make him Jiraiya. He's no different than if he was a descendant or something. For example, the Uchiha all look similar and use similar techniques. Are they all the same person? And does what one Uchiha do then completely disregard what another has done? No. Naruto looks like Minato and has similar jutsu, so is he now just Minato? No, because visuals and abilities don't make you who you are. It's the personality and memories of a character that do this. So how does having a clone of Jiraiya then mean he is Jiraiya, or completely disregard everything Jiraiya did? They are completely different people, it's just that one is based off of the other because of the legacy that that character left behind. This is why Amado created Kashin Koji based off of Jiraiya, because Amado believed Jiraiya was who would bring about change. Now, the question is, however, why? There's one argument I see people use to why they dislike this twist, and that is, why Jiraiya? And it's a fair argument. There's an endless list of characters who are stronger than Jiraiya. For example, the Hokage, Madara, okay? Not gonna lie, Madara would have been pretty cool. But anyway, the point is, there's many stronger shinobi, on paper at least, to choose from. So why Jiraiya? Well, there's a few reasons why this could be the case. We all know that Kabuto could not find Jiraiya's body during the war. Could this be because Kara had already managed to get their hands on the corpse at this point? Could they have been in the area at the time and act fast enough to retrieve his dead body? Is this how they got their hands on Jiraiya's DNA? One other theory I've seen floating around on this situation, and it's a big stretch, but it still has some legs, and that's that Amado is actually a blood relative of Jiraiya. Listen, we all know that Jiraiya was pretty popular with the ladies, and there's always a possibility that Jiraiya could have had a son that he wasn't aware of. Jesus, this theory really is just a complete rehash of an old Kashin Koji theory, isn't it? Still, the main reason this connection is being made is because we've got Jiraiya, white hair, more white hair, white beard, more white beard, but not that white beard. Amado is also holding on to hope that Jiraiya would be the star that brought upon change and has thus decided to base his creation off of him. So is it because Amado is Jiraiya's son? Listen, likelihood is that this would just create more problems than it fixes, but it is still worth mentioning. There's also many people complaining that Amado got the corpse of Jiraiya when not even Kabuto could. But for a clone, you don't necessarily need to have a full corpse. Just some DNA will do. This could be anything from a body part to saliva to even just a strand of hair. If Amado had even any of this from some point in the past, then there's your answer to how he managed to clone him. But enough of these theories as to why he was created, and instead let's discuss why the cloning of Jiraiya actually fits perfectly into the story that Boruto is trying to tell. An interview with Mikio Ikimoto himself revealed that one of the main narrative themes of Boruto is whether or not technology is for the benefit of humanity and if it's good or bad. And Kashin Koji creates a wonderful moral dilemma to this. Because on one hand, he could play a pivotal role in killing Ishiki, ultimately saving this planet and subsequently many others in the process from Ishiki's destructive plans. And without the technological advancements we have in Boruto, this simply would not be possible. But on the other hand, you have to question whether or not it's ethical. Is it right to use a dead person as your basis for this? What would this do emotionally for the people that have gotten over the grief of losing someone, only to see them then be brought back as a tool? The perfect example of this is Naruto and Kashin Koji. Naruto has already sensed that for some reason he connects with Kashin Koji. Do you really think Naruto, of all people, is just going to sit there and let his former sensei be turned into a tool that's been sent in on a suicide mission? I mean, just look at how Naruto reacted to Haku way back in part 1 being treated like this despite never even knowing him beforehand. And that then also brings up an interesting debate about whether or not it's even then ethical to be turning these into tools in the first place. Yes, alright, they're technically not real people, and if they were to perish, they could just be recreated. Mitsuki is the prime example of this. Orochimaru has an endless supply of Mitsuki at his disposal if he ever needs to have another one, causing him to not really have any true emotional attachment towards Mitsuki, despite technically being his son. You even have an example in the anime with Sekie. Sekie, despite being an artificial creation, is more human than some humans, showing affection towards his friends, having a will and a dream, and even crying. So, is it right to be using technology in this way? This is why Kashin Koji being a clone of Jiraiya is a perfect way to explore this narrative. Because if it was just some random clone, it wouldn't have the same effect on A, the characters in the story, or B, the readers either. And for that reason, I personally think that having a cloned Jiraiya does not completely neglect the effects Jiraiya had on the story, but instead uses those effects to build a new story worth telling. Essentially borrowing from Jiraiya's legacy, but not harming it. But I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say on this topic, because I know it's a sensitive one in the community right now. So get in the comment section down below. I'll be reading what some of you guys have to say because it's genuinely quite interesting to see. Leave a like as well on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad, and we'll have more Boruto videos discussing the most recent chapters in the future. But until then, peace.